I moved to Estonia about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I was already had an established career before I moved to Estonia. I was a lecturer, and when I moved to Estonia, people always say that when you move to a new place or a new country, it's like zero become hero, but not so much in my case. It more or less as a hero back to zero, because you started from ground zero. After I finished the study at the university in Tartu, I asked my supervisor, how can people know that I exist in Estonia with my job? She said 3 words. What did she say? Any guess?
The language? The language?
The language is 2 words.
Raba.
Rapa is 3 words, not 3 letters.
Work.
Something.
Work.
She said word of mouth. Word of mouth. It means people talk. It surprised me because when you come to Estonia, you always dream of the digital Estonia e-country. And when she said something very old-fashioned, traditional, people talk. That's how people get to know you. But in the sense of this digital era, we want to build up our presence in social media, on the online platform. And when you move to that direction, you have to think about the very first thing. What is your goal or your objectives to be present on social media? Is that something that you really want to, or you still prefer the traditional way with the word of mouth? When you already have decided that you want to move to this social media presence, after you have established your goal and your objectives, the next thing you have to think about is what kind of platform you want to build up your presence. So many platforms that you can choose from: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat is a little thing. Twitter nowadays become X. So after you decide what kind of platform you want to be present, now in the 3 steps that how you can grow your presence on social media organically. I simplify as AFC, not KFC, for easy for you to remember. Audience for A, F, frequency, and C is communication. That's what, when you Google how to grow yourself organically, they always tell you that 3 things. Know your audience, post frequently, and communicate or interact with your audience. But it's not that my case. I will give you a bad examples that people hardly give you. They always give a successful story. But I will give you 1 example that I built up my social presence just because I like it. Back to the objective, I build up my social media in that sense just because I want to, or I like to post the thing that I love, which is food. So I create a Facebook page just to post my food. First, do I know my audience? When I post the post about food, it will characterize what kind of audience hits most of the post. If I post something Vietnamese food, I get more likes than random food, Western food that I cook, or some random foods like at the restaurants. So I know the audience that they like Vietnamese food. So if you know your audience, you can go to that direction to develop more of your venue to collect more audience. Go back to your goal. Is that what you want or not? Because sometimes the audience wants another thing, but you want to aim for another thing. So first, know your audience. Second part, post frequently. But it doesn't mean that you should post every day, every hour, every minute. Depending on the frequency, how often you want to post online, it can be once a week, twice a month, once a month. It's up to you how often you post. Because when you post too much, people kind of get annoyed. Or they think that you have so much free time. As before, I posted very frequently, but people think that I cook all the time and have no work, no job, only cooking. That's why I rearranged it to post only twice a week. Even I still cook every day, have food every day, and now my schedule posts already until October. Last thing, communicate with your audience. When you post something and someone comments to you, you have to interact with them. But the tricky thing here is, you are in Estonia, people don't really talk. And the same with the online platform, they also don't really communicate. Even when you know your audience, you post frequently, but there's some people, they're just not active on social media. So they not really interact on social media, but it doesn't mean that they don't see your post. Here are my final 3 things that you should remember about when you want to build your social media's presence. Know your audience. They might want something completely different from you. Think about your goal. Is it that what you want? Second, post frequently. It doesn't mean that you have to post every minute. Think about the pace you want to post that is comfortable for the audience to see. And lastly, communicate with the audience. But remember, sometimes they don't communicate, but it doesn't mean that they don't see your post. Thank you.